how much additional income will that mean for Sid James and the Sid James Insurance Agency next year on a full year?
On a full year, hopefully, I mean, my goal would be about 100,000 or plus in that range. So it has a huge impact, and that's something that I don't even specialize in. So
an extra 100,000.
Extra, yep. I look
An
at it as
extra
all a
100,000.
bonus.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. And I have a very special guest joining us today, all the way from Mansfield, Missouri. I'm sure everyone thinks I know exactly where that is. But this guy joining us today is 23 years old, has been in the life insurance, health insurance business now for 2 years, and is absolutely crushing it. Knocking it out of the park. I don't even know if you knew what was possible for you, but I'd like to welcome to the podcast today. Welcome with me, Sid James. Welcome to the podcast, Sid.
How's it going? Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate the opportunity. And to answer your question, no, I didn't know what was going to be in store. So
Dude,
knew there was great things, but
yeah, you are 23 years old. You got started when you were 21. So just for everyone listening, what's the backstory? College, no college, you look like an athlete. Tell me what was going on. What's your backstory?
So I played a lot of sports. Dad coached basketball for 20 years, was big in basketball. I actually went on to college to play basketball for a year, dealt with some injuries throughout that year, held me out most of the year. So I was kind of like just tired of hurting, didn't think I wanted to come back. My brother Ty, who's a part of the Impact Legacy Group, which is an IMO, introduced me to insurance, and he's been doing it for a while, 12, 13 years, something like that. And so I knew what opportunities he had. He told me, I could have probably close to the same, if not more. And so that's kind of what got me going, got me into it. Didn't know I'd be to where I am today, but definitely glad that I made that decision and didn't need a college degree to sell insurance. So
cool, man. So you knew nothing about it other than the fact that you had a brother who was doing okay in the business.
Yep, I didn't know a whole lot. No, I went to the office with him a couple of times as a kid in my teens, but didn't know much about it at all. So
he's gonna love watching this. So like you went as a kid and he was already working as a full-blown adult. Ty James, you're getting old.
He is.
So man, you got started. Now you didn't start in life insurance.
Nope. So my first year I did home and auto insurance, P&C, so or property and casualty. So if you don't know what that is.
Okay, and everybody on here is going, I don't know anything about property and casualty. So you did that for a year. What happened? Then you transitioned?
I just wasn't all the way in it. Didn't really like it a whole lot. Kind of got into that because the company I worked for offered a salary. Coming out of college with no money, I needed that weekly pay to kind of start it out. Didn't think I could do it based on commissions only. And I just didn't really enjoy it a whole lot. Didn't really feel like I was building something for myself in a way. So I kind of thought about actually doing something different or switching over to life and health. And with Ty and Secure Insurance Group at the time, their big thing was Medicare. And I was kind of like thinking in my head, like, why am I not doing what their main thing is? I felt like it was kind of pointless to not be doing what they do and be successful like they are. So that's what kind of got me to jump over into life and health. So.
And you started in Medicare, helping people with their Medicare plans.
Yep. Helping as many people as I could. So.
Now, when you started, were you cold calling? Was it referral? Were you doing leads? Tell me how you got started.
Yeah, so I actually started out, Ty was kind of hard on me when I started out. He was, when he first started, he door knocked and thought that any agent should start out door knocking, that it kind of gets you going and you learn the business a little quicker and you have the ups and downs and things like that. So started door knocking LIS leads, which is low income subsidy leads, which are allowed to sell throughout the whole year. They have a quarter LEP where they can move, or special enrollment period SEP. And so started doing that for my first year. I probably put 50,000 miles or something on my car my first year door knocking. So felt like a truck driver at times, but.
Now, when you say door knocking, you weren't just randomly knocking on doors. You were actually taking the leads, routing them, and going and visiting these people in their homes.
Yep. So I would mail the lead out. They filled it out, signed it, sent it back. And then so it was, an actual official lead. I showed up, say, hey, you filled this out, tried to figure out what plan they had. I would check their prescriptions and make sure I couldn't get them a better plan or a better option to help them out.
And so you were working a specific demographic, you focused in on that, you showed up and you helped people put them in a better plan if you could.
Yep, correct. Yep. I did Missouri area. So.
Okay. And you started to transition slowly into life insurance.
Correct. Yep.
Tell me where the life insurance opportunities came from out of that.
Yeah. So I also did the Medicare, but I also got into a little bit, I dabbled into the ACA market, which is under 65 health insurance. So got a lot more into life insurance on that side of things. I did quite a few barrel policies for clients on Medicare. If you know Medicare, is age 65 and up. So did a lot of barrel policies and final expense policies for clients like that I came back and cross sold. But the life part really came from my under 65 clients. I had a lot of family and friends when I first got in the business that didn't have life insurance. Ty hadn't hit them yet, so I got to them and kind of helped them out there. And that's really where it came, and really where I enjoyed doing life insurance. Was helping people protect their families and their assets and things like that at a younger age. So
you're licensed to help people with the Affordable Care Act plans, under 65 health plans. And those are government subsidized programs as well.
Yep.
And that led you to opportunities to have conversations about life insurance.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So it sounded like you got pretty good at cross-selling, having conversations about other services, other things that you did.
Yeah, so I do a lot of cross-selling. I do feel like there's one thing from the P&C world, the home and auto, that I learned was cross-selling, because you're always adding on extra little coverages for a house or a car, things like that. So I always feel like that cross-selling background did come from property and casualty, but yeah, I've found a way to cross-sell pretty efficiently. And I go back and talk to my clients, after I've had them for a while. I send out, mailers and things like that saying, hey, just a reminder, this is all the stuff that we do. And I get a lot from that as well. So
cool. And now I know this year, from our previous conversations, you've actually added some additional products, and you're actually starting to cross-sell into retirement planning and annuities.
Correct.
How did that come about? What's going on there?
Yeah, so that is a big shout out to Pat with Impact Legacy Group. So Impact, again, is an IMO who I'm actually under. They're part of my team there. They have some great people. I will say that's how I got a big start into the life and health, is having them and having my brother Ty. But it's great to have someone above you or with you on your team that has other resources that you can use. So when it comes to the retirement part of things, I teased a couple of weeks ago, I was a guy who couldn't even spell annuity or retirement or whatever. I did Medicare and health insurance, and that was about it. And then Impact, we added, Pat to the team. And
you're talking about Pat Schmidt.
Yeah, Pat Schmidt. Yep, Pat Schmidt.
Pat's been on the podcast, so I'm referencing his name.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Yeah, he knows.
He's been on twice. Yeah.
Shout out to Pat. So yeah, he was a big help to me. He basically I still this day don't know a lot about the annuities. Like, I'm still learning every day, trying to figure it out. But he just kind of got me to where I was comfortable with actually bringing the conversation up and talking about it. And I think just since March, we have about 1.3 to 1.4 million in pending and issued business since March. And that's just from bringing the conversation up that I'd never brought up before, because I had no clue what it's about. I was scared to talk about it. And so he helped a lot in that situation there. So
now you have access to support that enables you to broaden the conversation of what you're able to do to help families that you're already serving. So this is the same client base. Like, you're not buying new leads or generating new leads or anything from these, right?
Yep. So, well, a lot of the stuff I'm doing this year is the Medicare Seminars, which I'm sure we'll get into. But as far as a lot of the cross-selling, that is typically, the book of business that I have, the new opportunities that opened up with having new people on our team and things like that, that's led to a lot of the stuff that I've got this year for sure.
Cool, man. Cool. So here's a question. This may not go in the exact same direction you thought it was going to go, but
yeah.
How much extra money are you projecting that having the ability to use some of the resources from people like Pat at Impact, how much additional income will that mean for Sid James and the Sid James Insurance Agency next year on a full year?
On a full year, hopefully, I mean, my goal would be about 100,000 or plus in that range. So it has a huge impact, and that's something that I don't even specialize in. So
an extra 100,000.
Extra. Yep. I look
An
at it as
extra
all a
100.
bonus. So
And
yeah, it's
that's
pretty
bonus.
huge.
Yeah, that is big. So 23 years old,
Yeah.
you 1 year college, got hurt playing basketball, but apparently you recovered, because there's something else about you that I thought was an interesting, fun fact that I didn't open up with at the beginning. You and your brother and your boys out there in the Springfield area, you do these tough mutters, right?
Correct. Yes. Yes,
And
sir.
it's not just the half mutter and it's not the full mutter. You guys do these like ultra mutters or something like that.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on with that?
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool thing we started. Obviously being a sports guy, I grew up my whole life, and along with Ty, my brother, we like working out, but we always wanted to work out for something. It's hard to just every day wake up and go work out. So we're like, we need a goal, something to work out for. So we did a Tough Mudder about 8 years ago, our first one. And last year we were like, well, let's try. They have a thing called the Holy Grail. So it's 3 different races. One is 8 hours, one's 12 hours straight, and then the last one is a whole 24 hours straight. And so we did that, and that was a really cool, crazy experience. Didn't do it again this year. Just was too busy. I think we're going to try to do it next year, but it was really cool. So
you're going to have to talk me into trying at least one of the baby ones.
Yeah, they have some basic ones.
I may not be able to go for the 24 hours straight out of the gate, but I actually did the Rugged Maniac we did, and then we trained for the Tough Mudder, and I actually hurt my foot. I actually hurt my foot like a week before while I was training for the Tough Mudder. I ended up being the photographer, my wife, for the whole thing. I limped around that 10-mile course and just took photos of them whenever they were coming by. But
there you go,
man. It's to see you guys. So you guys watching? This guy's like an ultra athlete right here. He's an ultra athlete, and he helps older people with their Medicare and helps younger people with their health insurance and their life insurance. And now he's helping protect people's retirements with annuities and retirement planning, all at the age of 23.
Yeah, trying to do it all.
Trying to do it all. And most people are just getting out of college now.
Yeah,
22,
correct.
23 years old. They're just finishing college. Let me ask you this, because this is going to get some people's attention. In the 2 years you've been in the life and health business, what type of business revenue or recurring revenue does Sid James have now projected, whether it's recurring or projected income from your sales process? What type of incomes are there available now after 2 years of investment into the business for you?
Yeah, for sure. So with Medicare, it's a big key with Medicare. You have a renewal, a residual income that comes to you every year. So in residuals, Sid James Insurance, my business will do, and residuals a little over $100K this year. Then that's a residual that I'm going to get every year. And then as far as the, life insurance, annuities, retirement, the tack on stuff is going to be about another $100K this year. And that's about where I got in 2 years. So not that everybody, I feel like everybody could do it. It's not easy. Like I said, I put 50,000 miles on my car. I worked 80 hours plus a week. My first year into it, looking at purchasing a book of business now. So you can definitely get there. There's different ways you can get there quicker or not. But I definitely think anybody, could do it in a 2 to 3 year process like I did. But it's going to take a lot of work. I won't promise that it's going to be easy, but I definitely think a lot of people could do it. So
yeah, a lot of people when they get started in the business, and like I think you had an advantage and you had it tougher all at the same time. Your advantage was you had a brother who was successful in the business. So you saw an example, but then he was really tough on you, and he said, "No, you got to go and rough it first. You're not walking into here. You're not getting handed anything. You got to go put 50,000 miles on your car and go door knock all these leads all over the state." A lot of people wouldn't have been willing to do that. Why were you willing to do that, man? Because a lot of people 21 years old, they're like, dude, I ain't doing that. I'd rather go get a job somewhere. What was the motivator?
Honestly, Ty James, my brother, really, like I seen what he had, and he kind of laid a game plan out, and he's like, I believe you could really do this, and showed some actual like real numbers. It wasn't some of them for me at 21 and, working for my dad doing construction in the past. I'd work a whole summer to make, $5,000, things like that. So like he was showing me numbers that I didn't really believe. But like, he's like, this is what I did. This is what you can do. I know you can do it. It's going to take a lot of hard work and hours and things like that. But so really he's what motivated me to do that. I like I mentioned, I only do pretty much.
Did you ever want to quit?
There was times, yeah. You
What was
drive.
going on? What was going on? Do you remember any of those times
Yeah,
when you
you
wanted to?
drive 6-7 hours in a day and you don't get one sale. Those will make you think real fast. Why am I doing this? So started out, first couple months, had a few of those days. So, but I think now looking back, that's what made me who I am today, with what I'm doing and things like that. But definitely.
So how important is it to have a good relationship that keeps you focused when you're to be engaged not only with with someone who cares about you, obviously, but plugged into an organization that's established? Like how would you say that ranks up for people that are listening? They're trying to figure out their way in. A lot of people that listen to our podcast, a lot of you guys that are listening today are thinking about getting in the business, or you just got in the business, or you're struggling in the business right now, or you've had a few of those 6-7 hour days, 6-7 hour drives, and you got nothing, and you're thinking about packing it in. Sid, how important is it to be plugged into a good community to be successful? Where do you rank that? I mean,
Yeah, it's huge. It's number one, really. Like I just prideful me would want to say I could have got to where I am today without having that, but I really don't think it's possible. I mean, it's huge to me to have an organization that has the mentors and the tools and the team that really just makes things effortless. To mention back to Pat a little bit real quick with Impact, like these annuities and retirement stuff that I'm doing, that's an extra, like next year projected, hopefully over 100K just from a 50-50 split. They have a really cool program to where you don't even have to do anything. You can just bring the referral over and they still give you a really cool opportunity to make a 50-50 split still. So that's with me not even writing it myself. So having that opportunity in that team, I mean, it's huge. It's everything. Having that right team and organization, like I feel like I will triple and quadruple from where I am now in the next couple of years, mainly because of that. It's hard to do it on your own for sure. And having that right fit and partnership.
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. So I want to ask you a few questions. You mentioned something a little bit earlier that you kind of transition away from doing the LIS leads, the low income subsidy leads for Medicare and the door knocking, and you started investing a little bit more money into a new process for generating leads, and it's still focused at 65 and up or turning 65. You're actually now doing educational seminars for seniors turning 65 and up. Tell me about that. How's that going? How'd you get into that? And what type of program is there for someone like you to plug into something like that? And maybe for some listeners to say, hey, I could probably do that too.
Yeah. So what got me started on that was I loved getting in front of more people at one time. I love the idea of Medicare Seminars, and a reference back to Ty real quick. He always teased our first year door knocking and driving a lot. He didn't want us to have him do Medicare Seminars because it was too easy. Now, one thing too is they are, I feel like, easier once you do them, but it takes more money. Sometimes you're waiting for that client to turn 65 before you can ride them. So it's a little harder to start your business that way, but he didn't want us doing that. So the last year I've transitioned to where now that I have a book of business, I have more income coming in. I actually went and found an investor to do an investment and more of a partnership. I didn't go get a loan from a bank. I got a partnership with someone who didn't really want to be in insurance, but they knew there was an opportunity in money and wanted to kind of be like a silent partner. And I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago with somebody, like I wanted to get to level faster. I knew I could help a lot of people, and that was just getting in front of as many people as I could. I knew I was doing the right thing for people. And so instead of having a seminar with, 5-10 people showing up, which is that's not a bad deal at all. You got to start somewhere. I put extra money into it. I got an investor to where I have about 30 people per seminar. I'm doing about 10 seminars every 2 months. So it's about 5 a month. And that's been huge for me. I've done that, like I said, about the last year. I think I've talked to probably 700 people just this year turning 65 within the next 6 to 9 months. So that's
how many will you convert out of those people? Like what were your numbers?
I always shoot for, so I always shoot for about 80% to actually show up that registered. I always will say about 50% of those.
That's a great show rate.
And that's about what I average. So it's pretty accurate. And then I always figure about 50% of those people are actually going to be eligible because they can bring a guest, so they can bring a kid or a family member. And then I always try to at least close 30%. Is my goal. And to me, that's a smaller number, a smaller goal. We're doing more than that, but that's the goal, to still triple or quadruple your money that you're putting in. So that's kind of my goal, is about 30% of them.
So you transition from a lower entry point of way to get now. Did you start as an independent contractor? How did you start in the business?
Yeah. So when I got into the business originally, I was actually got paid by the company I was under, which was Impact. I got paid from them. It's called an LOA agent. Some of you don't know what that is, but I was under the company getting trained, kind of got some marketing money, things like that to get started, to get rolling. And then in the last year, I've completely switched over to, my own agency, building my own teams, my own company, all under, Sid James Insurance and things like that. So
you were working for the agency or the division of the agency at the time, and you were getting paid from them. You weren't getting paid from the carriers. You were getting paid from them.
correct.
And now this past year, you saw, okay, I got this. I got it figured out. Did you have to end your relationship with them, or did the relationship just change?
Yeah, it just changed. And actually, it got better. Like I said, I'm my own person, can run my business how I want in a way. And then they're that resource and that team that can help me out if I need stuff. So still with Impact, still just, a partner with them. And that's been great. I love it. So it's been awesome.
That's awesome. So you went from doing these low income subsidy leads, you transitioned to these seminars. You're getting up in front of a group of people you don't know, 20, 30 people, and you're actually doing, how long are these seminars?
I typically will send out that they last about an hour and a half. So,
okay. So it's like you're doing a 90-minute presentation and closing or whatever to 30 plus people 4 or 5 times a month.
Yep. Correct.
Boom. 23. Did you ever take public speaking?
No, I actually didn't. So my last year of high school, I homeschooled. So I kind of skipped the classes that had that, got to do it with my mom. So I didn't really do any of that. You get to speak to
your mom a lot. Hey, mom, sit over in the corner.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about Medicare.
Yeah. So I've just always been an outgoing person. So,
that's awesome.
So it didn't bother me really to get up in front of people. So, and what made that easier too is I knew, like, and if you're in insurance, you know about this, is I truly knew I was helping people. So if you know that you're up there, you're helping people, you're educating them, it makes it a lot easier to talk, and you're not really as nervous. Because you know that, hey, listen, because I can actually help you and things like that. So
how do you ever get pushback because you're so young and you don't understand their age? Do people discriminate against you? Because there's going to be some people that are on here saying, I don't know if I can relate to people that are 65. I don't know if that's for me. How do you bridge that?
That's a great question, because I've had a lot of people always ask that. And that was something that was my question when I got into the business at 21. I asked Ty, I said, how is someone 65 going to look at me trying to sell them their Medicare policy or sign them up? Like, what are they going to say? And I actually, to this day, I have never had one person tell me that I was too young. And what's funny is, if you know a lot about people that are 65 in that age group, what is one thing they try to do that's always funny is a lot of them will try to get a younger doctor because they don't want their doctor to die on them. So I actually have referenced before and teased to my clients, like, hey, I'm a younger agent, Lord willing, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be here for a while for you. So you won't ever have to worry about someone different. And they actually love that. They love having a younger person. If you know your stuff too, it makes it easy. Sound confident. I've never had any backlash from that. And that was actually like the one thing I was worried about starting out. So great question.
Beautiful. I love that. You're prepping your clients up front. I'm not going to die on you anytime soon. So your likelihood of having me for the rest of your life's pretty good.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm good looking and I'm an athlete. And if you got any good looking granddaughters, I'll talk to them too.
Yeah. There you go.
So Ty, what do you say to brand new people, man, that are looking at this? Because we got people of all ages, right? So I'm going to set this question up in a couple ways. We got people of all ages that are watching this video. I just got off the phone with an agent, and he goes, man, it's so great to talk to you. I was just watching a podcast with you and a guy by the name of, I think it was Jonathan Henderson or something like that. And I said, man, that's so cool. We get people from all walks of life trying to figure out how to become successful in this industry. Some of them are not 21. Some of them are 45. Some of them are 55. Some of them are 30. Some of them got laid off at their job and wondered if they can make it in something like this. Some are just coming out of college and the workforce is not delivering to them what they thought it was going to be after they got out of college, spending $100,000. And now they're out there trying to get a job that pays $40,000. And they're trying to figure out their way forward. And some of, they want to have families. They have goals and dreams. What would you say to people that are looking at this opportunity? Do you have to have family members? Do you have to be plugged into someone like that to be successful? Can they make it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you have to have a family member in it. Obviously, there's a lot of people who didn't get into it because of a family member.
Mhm.
I think what's huge is find the right team, find someone that's going to kind of help train you, take you under as a mentor in a way, and find a true partnership to help you. But also like just get out and do it. I feel like I run it, even being 23 at my age, I feel like I run into people older than me who they spend half their week trying to learn about a product or learn about, or managing their Google Sheets or something like that. Like just go out and do something. Brian Askins with Impact Legacy Group, he has a really cool saying, like, have money making hours. Don't, sitting there doing your Google Sheet is nice, but don't do it during money making hours during the day. So like, just get out, get to work, do something, and just take the first step, really just get out and do it. So.
And so, Sid, now you got such confidence in the business, and you can tell, man. So I would never say you didn't take a public speaking class other than the one to your mom. By the way, what's your mom's name?
Lori.
Lori. You want to give her a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to my mom. She's the real MVP.
Give her a big thank you for being your audience for all those Medicare seminars. All right. Hey, Lori, how are you? You did a great job, by the way. You did a great job, Lori. I would never say that you didn't have that skill set to do it, because you present yourself as very confident, and I would never say that you've not done 100 of these interviews. So it's you've got good composure in front of people. People are coming into the business and they want to partner with somebody. You're now got enough confidence that you're actually growing your own agency now. So you're no longer just selling insurance. You're actually providing opportunities for people to work with you in your system, plugged into Impact, and actually partner with you as an agent to get started and learn from the ground up, just like you are. What does that look like if someone wanted to join you?
Yeah, correct. So, I'm always welcome to talk to people. And I always tell people too, I've talked to a few people in the past who are trying to build a team and things like that. And the biggest thing I mentioned a second ago was having the right fit, the right team, the right person. And I'm big about, if we're not a good fit, I'm going to tell you that, I think the fit is an important thing, making sure you kind of are cohesive and can work together. And kind of build something special. But yeah, you can get a hold of me at Sid James on pretty much every social media platform, or Sid James Insurance. How that would look though is obviously you have me. I actually have an assistant who's big. Yeah. So I started getting an assistant here. She helps with clients, but she actually came from kind of a recruiting / training background as well. And she helps and would be a great resource for you to help you there as well. And stuff like that. So that's kind of how that would look a little bit.
So they can reach out, they can get connected, and they can get plugged in. Do they need to know all the things you know to get started?
No, absolutely not. Just show up.
Just show up. Sid James spells SIDJAMES. Sid. I asked him if Sid was short for anything, like if it was Sydney or Sidnacious or something. He goes, nope, just Sid. So Adam was like, I hope it's Sidnacious. That would be awesome.
I had a nickname Sid the Kid as a kid.
Sid the Kid. There you go. Maybe we can tie that into the show notes, Adam. There you go, Sid the Kid. Man, great job on you, brother. Good work. I'm proud of you. So exciting to see someone at 23. If I was 23, if I had to rewind my life, because I got into this business in 2014, and if I had to rewind my life and I had the opportunity sitting in front of me that you do now, with the organizational support and the relationship support that you do now, I can't imagine where my life would be right now. But am I grateful for this business? 100%. Has it changed my life? Absolutely. And I can see that it's changing yours too, man. So one thing I'd like to close on is this. You mentioned earlier, you said something that got my attention, and I wear these. I've been wearing this wristband now for about 9 years, and it just says difference makers. And the challenge is to be one. That's literally what this says, difference makers, and the challenge is to be one. You said something earlier. You said, when I stand up and you know that you're making a difference in people's lives, it's easy because you know you're doing good for them. How does that make you feel as an entrepreneur, a business owner, someone who's heading into multiple six figures, feel that you're in an industry that actually makes a difference in people's lives? And why should that be one of the attractions for new people that are looking at this?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. You truly get to help people. And I truly believe that that's why it's kept me in the business. I mean, don't get me wrong, the money's nice, but that's why it's kept me in it, is when you can sit across from somebody and change their financial situation or protect their money or show their kids that how you're helping, it can help them as well. I mean, it makes you feel good, and truly, believe that I am making a difference. And that was kind of like, I kind of getting into the insurance business from Cody Askins and going to 8% and things like that. All the big speakers and entrepreneurs always talked about like, find a why to keep you going. And to me, that's, one why is my family, but my next biggest why is helping people. That was always a big goal of mine. I always wanted to do something along that lines. As a kid, I actually wanted to do like physical therapy or get into kind of like the medical space. So like helping people has always been a big part of me. So doing what I do and being able to help people at the same time, just makes it perfect. So that definitely make you feel good. And that should be a big reason to get into insurance for sure. So
phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. So they can reach you at Sid James on Instagram.
Yep. So Instagram, Sid James 23, and then find me on Facebook, a lot of other things at Sid James or Sid James Insurance. I have 2 pages on most every platform. So
perfect, man. Well, thanks for being on, man. Much success to you. Looking forward to following your journey and seeing big success, big things coming out of Mansfield, Missouri with Sid James Insurance. Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it. So look forward to talking to you more.
Thank you. And thank you guys for watching another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. We'll see you on the next one.